All right, kids, we're starting on our next project, which is this old bastard, which has done me well for years and years and years. And I have an old rimfire motor in this thing. It is very old. It wasn't even designed to be flown in this configuration. This is a 250 kV. And you guys have heard me say, oh, this damn thing doesn't have much power. Well, it doesn't. It has power, but it doesn't have power to get out of the oh shit situations. So I got me a new X-Nova. I don't know how you pronounce that. Nova, the X is silent, whatever it is. So this is the new motor. But the first things first is I've got to see if I have a 6mm shaft on this one or not, because I measured the top and it's an 8mm shaft right there. So I need to actually start tearing this bitch apart to see if I can get in there and see if I have a 6mm shaft or an 8mm shaft. So we're going to get started. All right, first things first, we got to get this whole front off. So that requires taking all these little screws off. Then I can take this part off, which requires all these little screws to be taken off. And then I can get in there to the mechanics. All right, so the really funny thing is you forget. Like, I've got a light up here. I took the last screw out. This whole thing fell off. And then I've got wires down to the light, which I don't have a disconnect right here. So, for now, this is going to sit right here. And you can see all my extra weight that I had to put on this to get this thing to balance. And it's probably not balanced anymore. But now we can come up here and we can get these screws out. And then we can take this off, and then we'll have better access to the mechanics. All right, now that I've got the top off, we can actually get into the meats and guts and deep inside the bowels of this thing that I haven't tore apart in years and years. Obviously, we got some supports here that will need to be taken off. We'll have a couple of wires to the 401 gyro that is back. No. Where's the 401 gyro? Yeah, the 401 gyro is. It's actually right behind that thing. I can't even show it to you. It's right here. It's in this spot. So the gyro is actually on the fuselage. It's not with the mechanics like I normally do. But that's okay. I can still get to the adjustments if I needed to right there. So this will get disconnected and unzip tied, and then a couple of these supports up here will get taken off, and then I think there's 4 bolts that hold the mechanics down, and the tail drive is just that dog bone style, and it slips right out. So should be super easy to pull that out. Yeah. Gonna have to take off my one antenna that comes from the mechanics onto the thing there. So I need a little itty bitty tiny screw there to undo that. Also have to take out the light plugs. I have to take out the battery. And then I'll have to remove, looks like some wires back there for the back for the lights. All right, and we got our bolts that we take out. All on here. We got one there. I got one there, and then two in the back. And it would be so much simpler if that frickin' washer would come out with it. Because it's loose, I don't want to lose it. Now I gotta go get a frickin' pair of goddamn tweezers to get that out so I don't drop it at the bottom. Would have been a whole lot easier if my wrench here had been magnetized. I could have picked it up, but no, it wasn't magnetized. Ugh, Jesus. And spring cleaning and stuff like that is usually important because I went down here to get this one bolt way down here, and it wasn't even snug tight. It was barely tight. Something you should check. Check your bolts all the time. I gotta reach in here. Well, thank God I got clam doors. All right, let's see if we can pull this out. Cross the fingers. I think I have everything disconnected. Nope. Shit. I didn't have it all connected. I got 2 screws right in the middle. Of course I do. Why would it go smoothly? Why would anything go smoothly? Sucks. Really thought I had it when I took those bolts out. Come to find out, my little plate for my batteries has a screw in it also that I have to take this plate off in order to get to the nut on the back side of it. Of course. So some hemostats to grab onto the nut, and then I can get that screw out. Okay, so I'm like, oh, why isn't the damn thing moving? Well, my supports were done so well that even with the bolts out, I couldn't slide it forward because it hits like right there and right there. So I have to swing the 2 supports on the front forward. I swing this one to the side. I swing that one to the back. And then maybe this might come out. Maybe. Ah, there we go. So we got it partway out, and the the shaft came with it, so I'll need to get a hold of that so it doesn't drop and fall. But we'll get these mechanics out here. Let's see. What are we holding on to? And we're going to go like this. My convenient little stand for doing that. Oh, man, that looks good. Everything's still tight. Still greased. That's good. Lots of grease in there. Doesn't look like it's worn. So, a little bit of maintenance on there. Rah! But, there are the mechanics. So now, I want to find out if the motor actually is a 6mm shaft or an 8mm shaft. That'll tell me if Tyler has to get me a new shaft for the motor or not. I'm kind of hoping not. Well, we'll see. All right, so I can't tell if the shaft is a 6 or an 8 because it has an adapter, that brass piece down inside there, that fits on the motor that adapts to the clutch. So I've got to get these 4 bolts out, and then I can take the motor out and we can see. Well, that is kind of a bummer. I need an 8mm shaft to be able to go into my adapter, because I don't think I have any more adapters unless I can find one. I think I have an extra one, but I just don't know where it's at. Oh, this is going to be a hunt. And I found the other one, but it's for a gas motor. So this adapter does not work with anything else. So yeah, it should be like that. But you can see that 8mm, this is going to be like 12. I don't know. But yeah, that's the wrong one. So I need a new shaft, or I need a spacer, or I need a new adapter for that spot right there, because this only has a 6mm shaft. So that's where we're at. I think these are really good bearings. That's pretty damn good. And here's the comparison of the 2 motors. One is really old and not designed for helicopters, but worked well up until the point of an oh shit situation. Then we have the Nova, and you can see the shafts are quite different. A little longer, a little shorter, a little fatter, a little skinnier. Ask your wife which one she wants. So, yeah, so we got to get a new shaft, or I have to make an adapter that goes into this to make up the 2mm, which, you know, could be done. So that's where we're at right now, and the ball is in Tyler's court. All right, so for now, it sits here, and I'll go through and I'll do some cleanup on it, check some more stuff, make sure everything gets lubed as I'm putting it back in, like the dog bones on that little short shaft. Because this thing has a shaft from here all the way back, and then it's got that short shaft go up to the mechanics. In fact, this one right here. So it's got the little dog bone, not the same dog bone style that I have on the crane. These are a lot smaller, And I'm looking at one. This one's way off to the side. Look at that. Way off to the side. Interesting. This one is pretty good. So I'm going to have to look into that one, see if it is worn or if it is pushed off to one side. So interesting. So these little pins that are in here actually slide back and forth. And they did it on both of them. Even this one. This one's a little snugger. But it does slide back and forth. And that's probably by design so that this can find its natural center inside those cups. Interesting. Keep them lubed. Little things like that you find as you're doing, new maintenance, because I'm putting a new motor in it that needs a new shaft. And I'm getting the shaft here. So, all right. Until the next time. And we'll do a part 2. And we'll get this thing all put together and see if it works better. All right. Get out and build something.